What's up, everybody? How is your evening going? Ours is about to be really awesome because we're going to talk about video games on air. We've got Tim, who's coffeeed up here. We just talked about SpongeBob pre-show. Got a little baseball action, all of it. We're all over the place here. I'm Josiah Leroy. With me today, Mr. Baba Yaga, John Fick. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I said it before. I'll say it again. The Yankees are going to the American League Championship Series. The Cleveland Guardians, Grieveland, they're going home.
I'm happy you got that out of your system. That's good stuff. Go Yankees. Also with us today, Mr. Tim Talbot. Tim, we talked about it pre-show. We almost wore the same thing. It happens frequently when we own so much of the same wardrobe with that beautiful 26 shirts hoodie you got on there.
Thank you.
So
this is the Star Wars podcast, right?
Well, everything becomes a Star Wars podcast when I'm on it, so inevitably at some point it will. But it's not technically a Star Wars podcast.
I thought this is Andor.
No, sorry.
How did you get through this episode already?
Why do you want to have a show and tell spoon on Andor? It doesn't even add up.
Oh shit! Well, good thing I brought my PlayStation mug. Let's
go. There he is.
Featuring the handle.
I do love that mug.
The controller handle.
Dude, that's a DualShock 4. Come on, dude. What year is it?
Old school.
Ugh.
DualShock 4.
Sorry, I'm on a budget, okay?
Gross.
I can't afford the new PS5 mug.
Can't get the DualSense controller.
It's out of my price range.
That's okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited to talk some games. I haven't had a chance to talk games with you guys in a hot minute.
I'll tell you what might be out of your price range is that DualSense Edge, which we're certainly going to talk about a little bit later today.
Yeah, I saw a little comparisons on it today,
and running with it. Yeah, good stuff. So Busy Sticks, the Geekiverse is all video gaming talk show, whether you're watching live at twitch.tv/thegeekiverse, youtube.com/thegeekiverse, or listening on podcast services around the globe. We appreciate you taking the time to join us for this discussion. On today's episode, lots of awesome horror news coming out this week for video games. We've got Silent Hill. We've got Resident Evil, the next chapters for both of those universes. We've got some interesting controversy surrounding Bayonetta 3. We alluded to it with the DualSense Edge that's going to be coming out, as well as Miles Morales finally coming to PC, which means Steam Deck. Can't wait to play that game. And of course, we wrap up the show with our favorite new game, Guess the Video Game. So we'll get to that, of course, in due time. We don't just love video games here. We also love hockey. The Buffalo Sabres are playing right now. Rasmus Dahlin having a killer season. This is episode 27 of Busy Sticks, so we'll call this the Michael Pekka episode, I think. Makes sense. But we also love one other thing, and that's beer. So what is about to be in your system, gentlemen? John, we'll start with you. What do you got going on tonight?
Josiah, we decided to do this episode very last minute. We decided about 2.5 hours ago or so that we were going to do this today instead of tomorrow. And my beer fridge was empty. So what did I do? I went to the store, of course. I wasn't going to be unprepared. Come on. I shot out Yankees wrap up the ALCS, and I'm over at the local beer store with 10 minutes to spare. Of course, I had to make it happen. Picked up one that I actually tried to get earlier in the week, but it wasn't at the store. Got myself the Sleigh Burner.
Oh, dude.
Ooh.
So Sleigh Burner is a spooky. I was wondering if this would be the week we had a duplicate. Like you and Tim are so close to having duplicate shirts. One of these weeks, you and I are gonna have a duplicate beer. Yeah, Hay Burner is a staple in Western New York. Big Ditch, they make that IPA. It's a hazy New England type IPA. They do plenty of variations on it, and this is their spooky Halloween version. It is blood orange infused. So I'm excited for some Sleigh Burner.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love the can, by the way. Awesome art there. Tim, what we got? Anything going on or just coffee?
That's acceptable.
The coffee. I like that.
I think I could use a beer.
Oh,
okay. What do we got?
This man came.
See what I got. Hold on, beer back.
Let's go. So I'll go mine.
That reminds me of the Greg Miller episode. Wait, this is a beer podcast? Just
you went flying.
Yeah, you just go. I'm gonna splice those two together. When we pull out beer with our guests, this is what they do. They go grab beer.
Is this a beer podcast?
Yeah.
So I, like you, John, was not prepared totally. Like we didn't get grocery shopping this weekend. Didn't make our trip to Wegmans to see what we got on the Pick Your Six rack there. But my dad, saves the day, as he often does. He's probably watching right now. So if you are dead, thank you very much. But he brought over an Oktoberfest from Rohrbach.
Oh,
so
yeah,
gotta say,
classic.
tried this. Yes. Tried this with him just a few days ago. Of course, beautiful German style lager. This one hits for me. It's a well done Oktoberfest, just the right amount of depth, I think. Good amount of flavor, not too light, not too heavy. and of course Roebuck. Hey, Rochester, right?
Yeah.
So kind of local there. But Tim, what'd you go get out of your fridge?
I got a bath bomb by Fifth Frame Brewing.
Oh, those are fun, man.
It is a strawberry banana. We had this during our Sabres draft, and I have been sick since like 3 days later. I got sick, didn't have a chance to drink it. I've been dying to have it.
Awesome.
And today's the day.
You guys are both repping Rochester beers. My wife and I went out and did a Rochester brewery tour like maybe 3 weeks ago at this point. There's a lot of really cool stuff up there. We didn't hit Roarback, but we did go to Fifth Frame. That place is awesome. They've got tons and tons of. We got to do a little beer stop up there because it's gorgeous up there, man.
100%. And the only reason I'm drinking this is because I just wanted to find a way to match Joe.
There you go. That's looking good. We can get it color corrected in post if we want to.
Yeah.
You should say, Tim. So my shirt, I've got if you're listening to the podcast, Buffalo Bills tie-dye shirt. We were talking about it pre-show as well. It's hard to find tie-dye Bills material for men, really. So my friend Aurora Hawkwater owns a business, Dora or Die. That's DYE. You can check that out by searching on Facebook. Sells an amazing amount of Buffalo Bills swag. Go check that out among many other things in the store. Again, that's facebook.com/Dora or Die. But beers, boys.
I think
cheers.
You mean cheers, boys.
I'm not drinking out of a glass. I'm too lazy.
Pour it in the cup. Come on. A little coffee never hurt the beer.
Definitely not.
That was a joke. Don't do that.
So Rohrbach, also, we went to a Rochester Americans game, or two actually, in the spring when they had the awesome playoff run, and I love seeing their stuff all over the arena there.
Yeah.
They have some local stuff instead of some of the national options. Don't love paying extra for that, especially.
Right.
So, yeah, good stuff all around.
If I'm paying $12 to $14 for a beer, it better be a craft beer.
Don't get me started. I'm not looking forward to the first Sabres game where I got to do that because I don't have to do it, but
you do.
So what's in your system, boys? What have you been playing? It's just about 2 weeks away from Halloween here. You jumped into anything horror related. Tim, why don't we go with you first? What have you been playing?
What haven't I been playing? So, we've talked a little bit about this. I actually just finished Resident Evil Village. So that has been my game of choice. I love Resident Evil, and I'm very upset it took me that long to finally dive into it. And it took me about 3 weeks. Really, really good. I really enjoyed it. And then I've also been playing some Overwatch 2. They decided it was a good idea to... they stopped making money off of Overwatch, so they decided it was a good idea to reskin the game as Overwatch 2.
Slap a 2 on there.
Yeah, they took out the free loot they would give you.
Yep.
Made it free to play with a paid battle pass system. And now you can only get skins by paying money.
And that's not all they did. They broke the servers on day one to make it seem like it was actually a new game.
They did. So it's been fun still. It's been fun. It's bringing a lot of new player base into it. So I've been enjoying it as much as I'm knocking on it because that's really what they did is they stopped making money off of the fact that people who own it aren't going to buy it again. But new people that come in are going to want to buy skins. So it's their way of making money again. So I get it. They got to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but I understand they want to be able to sustain itself like a lot of modern free-to-play games go. So I get it, and it's been fun. But
so I'm gathering you're not salty at all on this.
I mean,
maybe just
how much longer it's going to last is the question. But it's fun. I'm enjoying it. It's a breath of fresh air. So
give me. I am also surprised it took you this long to play Resident Evil Village. I'm not, one to say that, but you're a longtime fan. So which it's perfect having you on the show tonight to talk about what we'll be getting later this week with Resident Evil or what we think. But if you had a kind of a quick summary on your thoughts on Village, spoiler free, what did you think of it in relation to some of the other games?
I really enjoyed it. I think I really enjoyed Biohazard, Resident Evil, the one before it. Mm-hmm. I just like the style. Like I just feel like the first person in that environment makes the game so much more scary. Mm-hmm. I thought there's a lot of very nice things they did. Between the different main boss variety, one of the big plot twists of the game was prepared all the way back from Biohazard. So when it hit me in this one, I was like, holy shit. Like it was huge. And it like blew my mind. So the whole game, it was awesome itself. One of my favorite things they did is in one of the like little like map areas, I'll call it, where they have one of the bosses, they took away your guns and like made it so you couldn't use weapons. So it added that extra layer of fear. Yeah. And it was awesome. It's probably the scariest time I've played Resident Evil for the most part. Like it's always scary at the beginning when you first boot it up. Once you get guns, it kind of like the fear factor goes away because you can defend yourself a little better. that was like, hey, guess what? You don't have guns again. So I like that they did that.
I
So.
felt naked. So I am
Yeah.
also playing Resident Evil Village. I've not been a super long time fan, but I jumped in with Resident Evil 2 remake in 2019 is when I played it. Also Resident Evil 3 remake, and then earlier this year I played 7. And I gotta say, I have the same curve with all these games, just like you described, Tim. It starts off really scary. I'm like, I'm sweating. My heart's skipping a beat. Then I build up some confidence. I'm ready to go. My weapons, I wouldn't say they become unstoppable, but I loot everything. I'm usually well prepared. And this one, they strip you of that for that boss battle. And what's funny is I was reading up, IGN had a list of the top 10 Resident Evil games. So I was like, I love these lists. I want to read out what it's all about. And without going into spoilers, it listed Resident Evil Village, I want to say like 5th. And they talked about it having one of the scariest moments in any Resident Evil game. And I was like, whoa. I thought this was not a totally scary Resident Evil game. What is that all about? And it hit me in the face when it happened. That was a really intense sequence. I had to play that, by the way. So my 7-month-old was having a tough day with teething. I had to get her down. And how did we get her down? By sleeping on my chest. That I played that sequence with her there. And that was horrible to try to not jump or really like I can't really control it, but have my heart race too much to wake her up.
It's like
so fitting because of what you had in your hand. I won't spoil anything, but like
100%.
Yeah.
It totally made it like, oh gosh, I'm going authentic with this.
I was going to say, Joe, it's like the feature from Until Dawn where you can't move the controller when you get nervous. You can't move the baby on your chest.
100%.
Don't let this distract you from the fact that both Joe and John have not played through the second half of a video game of Resident Evil 2. Don't let that distract you. That they've only played half of a Resident Evil 2 game.
That's only half true. It's the same game.
It's not. It's a different story.
The game.
It's the same sequences.
It's different part of the maps. Completely different part of the maps. Different character. Different story.
I've not read that.
Oh man! Every time I think about it, I'm just like,
one of these days we'll go back and do it.
So specifically, Resident Evil 2, you're telling us?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
You got to go back. You got to go back.
See, I liked it a lot, so I might do it at some point. But I just
gotta play the second part. It's the same. It's the different game. It's like someone gave you. No, okay. It's on the same game itself. Listen. It's like getting a video game, playing through the first. Like, let's pretend you're playing PlayStation. You open up the game. Okay. There's disc 1 and disc 2. When the PS1 game came out, there was 2 discs because there were 2 different games.
Tim, this is a PS4 game. It all fits on one disc. It's fine.
I didn't even have a disc. That was just a download, actually.
I'm just talking about the original.
So
it's 2 different discs. There's 2 different games.
One download for me though, so I think it was just 1 for me.
You know what, John?
I'm
gonna sabotage you during your guess the game. You just wait.
No.
See, I saw it as 2 downloads in the store, which I thought was peculiar. JK. So with Resident Evil 2, I felt very fulfilled with my playthrough. I was like, this is a definitive ending. I don't know.
I felt the same way. Yeah. I even looked up the differences between the Claire and was it Claire and who's the guy?
It is Claire.
Who's the dude? Leon?
Is it Leon?
Yeah.
Leon.
I watched the YouTube video of all the differences, so I saw it. It's cool. I saw her part. I saw what she did. I saw her cutscenes.
Where's Rashawn?
Tim is so mad at you right now. It's crazy.
Rashawn.
Yeah. I'm like, I really enjoyed this. I heard that you can play through as Claire.
God shows up, I'm quitting.
No, it's all good.
Oh my gosh. So that's what we've been playing. John, I hope you haven't been playing Resident Evil Village. Now, hang on.
I wasn't playing Resident Evil 2, I'll tell you that.
He played half of it. So last episode of Busy Sticks, John said I had homework and it was to get him to play Resident Evil 7. Now we had one less day in between our normal recording cycle here. John, have you started Resident Evil 7?
You want to talk about spooky. You want to talk about a horror story. And you want to talk about multiple downloads in the PlayStation Store. I tried to play Resident Evil 7. I tried. I went in there, I'm like, okay, I know that I own RE7 with the PlayStation Plus catalog, or it's part of my PlayStation Plus Extra, or I got it as a monthly PlayStation game. One of those things was true, and I know that RE7 is in my library. So I'm going to go in there, I'm going to boot it up. Actually, I already had it installed. I installed it a while ago because I wanted to play it. That was before the PS5 version was out, so I had the PS4 version installed. I'm like, wait a minute, I want the PS5 version. It's a free upgrade. You buy RE7 on PS4, you get a free upgrade to RE7 PS5 version, no charge, right? Not if you redeemed it via PS Plus. If you got the PS Plus version, you just have to buy the game again. If you have to buy the game outright if you want the PS5 version. I thought, you know what? I've had to do this before where I have to uninstall the PS4 version to get the PlayStation store to show me the product page for the PS5 version. So I uninstalled the PS4 version, went to view product. It's trying to charge me for the PS5 version. Why is it so difficult, PlayStation? Talk about scary. Talk about a horror story. Yeah, I had a much more intense time with RE7 than both of you guys have, and I haven't even booted the game up yet.
That is the scariest part about any Resident Evil game is John's story.
Trying to freaking figure out how to play the thing.
I never followed that between how many times PS4 and PS5 was said there. That was tricky. And John played it. He played that horror game right there, first person. You know,
yeah,
it was insane.
I have not played it yet, but I tried. I got frustrated and I didn't play it. The game is on.
He texted me. He was asking.
I'm like,
how do I make it?
Yeah.
I played it before the upgrade came out, so it wasn't even a point for me. But now that it's out, I would be in the same boat. I want to play the PS5.
I wanted to play the version. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I was just say to piggyback on that on the topic of Resident Evil, in case Joe wasn't playing Resident Evil. A game to play if you're a big fan of Resident Evil and you've played through a lot of like 7, Village and all that stuff.
Resident Evil Part 2?
Yes.
Part 2?
No. But I was gonna say Evil Within, Resident Evil vein, Evil Within 1 and 2. You could probably, it's a site called G2A.com. You probably could get it for dirt cheap on Steam, right on your Steam Deck.
Sure, those are on something.
I think I have it on Steam.
Oh yeah,
so you actually probably own it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Doesn't Microsoft own the company that makes those games now?
I think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So jokes aside, I did try to play it, and the whole fiasco of me like deleting it and not reinstalling it because I wanted to get the PS5 version, that took up like a half hour of my time, and I had like a 2-hour gaming window there, so I didn't play it. I want to. I'm still all in on the idea that I want to play 7 and 8, and I'm in the spooky season. I've been watching lots of scary movies. I've been having a blast with that, so I'm still holding me to it. I want to get in there. I want to experience RE7 and RE8 Village. What I have been playing
is $4.
Yeah, I mean it's cheap. It's real cheap. But what I have been playing in relation to what Tim talked about, not RE, but I've been playing a lot of Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 has brought me back in, like Tim said. Is it a reskin version of Overwatch 1? Yes, but I will say that like even as a casual player, someone who played a couple dozen hours of Overwatch 1 when it first came out, like I was pretty heavily involved in like invested in Overwatch 1 for the first year that game was out. I had friends I was playing with. I spent a lot of time with it. Then I fell off, after that and hadn't go back to it. Right. Even just with that little amount of time, that little exposure into Overwatch, I feel the difference. Not having 2 tanks, I think, is a big deal. Like that was anytime I tried to go back to Overwatch 1, having two tanks and there's so much damage being spread out, like I felt like I didn't know the meta. I didn't know what characters to balance with. I was just getting whomped every time I tried to play Overwatch 1. I think getting rid of that one character, having 1 tank on map, is a big deal. I think they balance the characters out to make it work. To make it a lot more approachable for someone like me. Could you show me both games running side by side, and would I be able to tell you the difference? Absolutely not. They look the same. People say they look, there's a slight upgrade graphically. I couldn't pick it out. It looks just like Overwatch 1. But like Tim said, it's a good excuse to just kind of like get back into the game. How long will it last? I don't know. It's free to play, so I think that there's always a chance that it's got legs because of that. Like Tim said, it's all battle pass based now, but it didn't cost 40, 50, $60 to buy, when it came out. So there's balances there. Some games do it well. Some games do it abysmally bad. So we'll see. Speaking of free-to-play games, speaking of games I play all the time, Fortnite, Fort Nightmares came out today. Fort Nightmares, that's their Halloween event they do every year. So I dove into that a little bit today. That was fun. And then speaking of a news story that we have coming up, and Spider-Man games on Steam, I've been chipping away at Spider-Man Remastered, the original Spider-Man game on my Steam Deck a lot. That's just such a fun game to just pick up and play and swing around, and like I find myself just swinging around more than anything. Like I got all the backpacks and all the landmarks already. I'm probably like 40% of the way through the story, but I already got most of the collectibles that are fun to do because I just like love swinging around. But yeah, that's like my pick up and play game.
Super satisfying going to do all that with Spider-Man. Real last thought here on Overwatch. IGN had a funny headline this week that said basically our 2016 game of the year kind of doesn't exist anymore. Funny thought, right?
Yeah, I mean they just straight up shut the servers down and like transitioned it over to Overwatch
If I had to give a good comparison about what they did, it's like remember when Fortnite went from like
Chapter 1 to 2.
season? Yes, that's what Overwatch did in a sense. They kept they changed parts of the game, but left it overall the same.
100%. I would say that Fortnite was a bigger upgrade from
100%.
Fortnite to Fortnite Chapter 2. I think that was a bigger upgrade. More. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
You can't change the game. I mean, you got people out of it, but yeah.
It felt like a different game. Yeah.
Definitely not the best PR surrounding what's going on with Overwatch right now. But if you're playing it, hope that you are enjoying it.
Yeah.
Let's get into some of the news here. First up on the list, we've got Silent Hill news coming this week. Long rumored, long awaited, super exciting stuff. So from Game Informer, Silent Hill's future has been the subject of numerous rumors over the last couple of years, and it appears we're finally getting a clear answer on what's next. Konami is broadcasting a Silent Hill transmission this week, so kind of like a state of play, if you will, from PlayStation. The event airs Wednesday, October 19th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. A tweet only states the presentation will feature, quote, the latest updates for the Silent Hill series, end quote. The tweet links to a new Silent Hill website, but it currently doesn't offer any more information. Now, folks, for years, we've had some rumors of Silent Hill being brought back from the dead, if you will, in the form of a new game, in the form of some remakes, because those have been popular, right? We've gotten a lot of Resident Evil remakes. We're getting one for Dead Space. That has been all the rage. So why not apply it to Silent Hill? Well, if I had a bet, I bet you we're getting a remake as well as a brand new entry. Exciting stuff, though, and what a beautiful time of year to talk about this, of course. Tim and John, have you guys played any Silent Hill at all in the past?
My experience with Silent Hill lies within PT. I played PT right when it came out. I remember sitting down with my girlfriend at the time, but now wife, and one of my best friends and his girlfriend at the time, now wife, and the four of us just sat down and we played that game and we beat PT. Like, we were sat there, in my bedroom, my parents' house back in the day, lights off, four of us just jammed in this living room, like scared shitless playing PT and just trying to figure out how to beat this stupid thing. And it was like, it's honestly one of my favorite gaming memories. So like PT was awesome for me. And like, I was so excited for that full game. And I've never been a big Metal Gear guy, but to know that Kojima was involved and, obviously knowing his track record and his prominence in the industry, I was so excited for that. So when it was canceled, I was bummed. I'm at the point where it's like, I don't know what this does for me because I don't necessarily trust Konami as far as I could drop a Plinko machine. Like, I don't know. I really don't care. But I'm excited to be proved wrong if that's the case,
Tim, have you played any Silent Hill?
If you know me, you probably can assume that I have played plenty of Silent Hill. So I actually grew up with on PlayStation, the first Silent Hill. I remember my first time playing it. There's a spot where you get in like this little cafe and like one of the little monsters bursts through the window. I shut the game off. I'm like, there's no way in hell. Like you're at the beginning, you're like walking around this little like lighter flashlight and these things start coming up out of the ground and you die. Like you die and then you wake up in like this. And I'm like, there's no way. So I went back like when I was a little older and a little stronger willed. I went back and played it on an emulator on my laptop. In a church parking lot, I downloaded it.
You broke the law in a church parking lot. You pirated a game at a church.
This is 10 plus years ago. It's
statute of limitations expired.
Yeah.
Murphy's Law.
Anyways. Loved it. Ever since then, I played through the Silent Hill 2. I think it was on PS2. There's like a bunch of other ones that have been out there. I love it. And I'm super excited for the remake or whatever they end up doing. If it's just a new entry, I'm nervous because Konami is in the shitter.
No, they just don't.
Ruin
they haven't
Castlevania
cared.
shit. Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear's
shit.
on the shelf right now. Like, yeah, I guess that's what I should have said. Is like, could I be excited for this? Do I see a world where I get excited for this? Sure, but I'm just worried that there's not much to be excited for here.
Make it good. Make it good. Can I do my show and tell now? Is that possible?
Oh yeah, we skipped over show and tell.
We did.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're new to the show, we sometimes have a segment called show and tell. If we have something worth showing and telling, we invited Tim and he had a show and tell, and we just skipped right over him. So yeah, go for it, Tim.
I'm used to it.
I don't know why it's so funny that he's like, I have a show and tell.
Can I do this, please? It's like the fourth grader in fourth grade. Like, he never got to do his. Like, please, can I do mine now?
We're out of time here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's lunchtime. Sorry, Tim.
Sorry, it's nap time, guys. On the thoughts of remasters or remakes, there's one game that I really from like the PlayStation era that I really want remade. And in my hands, I have the last entry on PSP
Oh
that I
man,
had bought.
speaking my language.
It is Parasite Eve.
Oh, I'm familiar with Parasite
Third
Eve.
birthday. So this is probably
Nice.
one of my most
Tim,
sought out remakes. Is Parasite Eve 1. It's one of my favorite horror games. I want it so bad. It'd be so good. But you can check out that here.
I was gonna say, please tell me the UMD's in there, dude. Oh, the UMD, Universal Media Disc. What? Oh, can you turn it around, spin it. Come on, give me a little spin. Oh, dude, you just brought me back. You just brought me back, man.
Yep. I
That's
also
good
have
stuff.
Crisis Core in my box out there, which is actually coming out again soon.
Now, Tim, do you have a PSP?
I do. I
You still
I used to have
your
a Vita
PSP?
too, but I traded it for my Wii U. I regret
my
every day of my life for it.
God.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone. We lost him.
That was it. Well, you
He only has
broke him.
3. Maybe he can lend me one.
For the Wii U? Oh my God.
I was tight on money, man.
Listen,
I mean, obviously, now we know why you're making decisions like that with your money. Jesus.
I gotta say, I expect something like that from JT, not from you.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry,
Traded
guys.
his.
I'll let myself out.
I hope Jimmy Stewart never sees this episode.
I hope he does.
I'll be in ruins.
That's my hope. That's my hope. When I saw that what they're remaking with Silent Hill, I was like, screw Silent Hill. Give me Parasite Eve. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Maybe one day. Maybe.
You
I think
couldn't.
Blessing actually wants Parasite Eve remastered too.
Blessing Eddie. Oh yeah. You couldn't have lied and said you used it for like drug money or something. You had to say that we.
No, I sold my Wii U for drug money.
You were already telling us how you broke the law so many times. You know, you could have just been like, "Yeah,
Murphy's
drugs
Law,
as well."
guys. Come on.
Murphy's Law. Obviously, everyone knows. Everyone knows.
Yeah, everyone knows what Murphy's Law is. Come on.
Well, I'm hoping we get some good news, and I hope that it's executed nicely. I'd love to jump into Silent Hill just like I have Resident Evil in the last few years and become a fan of that series. Speaking of which, Resident Evil, we're getting news this week from Capcom. So from IGN, Capcom will be releasing a bevy of new information on its remake of Resident Evil 4 in a showcase set for later this week. Previously teased for October, Capcom's Resident Evil showcase will be taking place Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. The showcase, which was announced back in September, will provide the latest updates, trailers, and more for the Resident Evil series. Both Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Village are highlighted on the showcase's official site. Now, what a great time, obviously, for us with playing Resident Evil Village. I'm curious to see what that DLC is going to look like more in depth. Tim, is the DLC something, obviously we got to see what it looks like, but something that would bring you back into that game? Typically, for me, I'm not a guy who dives back into more DLC unless it's a game like Batman Arkham, where it's something I just can't get enough of. This I'm enjoying, but I don't know that it would bring me back, per se.
It depends what it is. If it's like an addition to the story, like continuation of the ending, like, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but let's say like continues on off the end, I would look into playing it. But if it's just like a different perspective or a different like little mode inside the game or something like that, like, nah, I'm just not. I'm not the kind of person that picks it up and revisits it. Like, I never played through the Biohazard DLC. I just watched videos on it. I just didn't, Yeah. It's almost like not playing a second half of a game, just a little different.
It doesn't seem like that.
That's how I am with DLC too. Like if it's like a substantial extra bit of story, like my perfect example is like the BioShock games, like the BioShock Infinite DLC. When that stuff came out, like the Return to Rapture and stuff like that, like those were awesome, man. So DLC can hit for me if it's done right, if it's more story and it's more more of what you want. But like you can take a game like Spider-Man. They came out with like the City That Never Sleeps or whatever. I never touched that. That's one of my favorite games of all time, and like I could just swing around that city forever. But I never even touched the DLC.
I'm not a big revisiting games person, anyways. It's just not my style.
I played those Spider-Man, all 3 DLC packs for that game twice. Once on PS4, once on PS5 for remastered.
Interesting.
Yeah, and just couldn't get enough of it.
Cool.
So what I am really excited about with this Resident Evil showcase is Resident Evil 4. Give me more of that remake. That's going to be a day one purchase for me when it comes out in April of 2023. And, if it's anything like what we've seen in the remake for 2 and 3, this is the one that will really hit. many people consider that one of the best video games of all time. So for them to do what they're doing, it's got to be delicate, and they've given me no reason to think otherwise that this will be a very good game.
Remember
If you
when
guys played oh god, John.
I was gonna say, remember when we were talking about Capcom in the same light that we were Konami?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
For sure.
Remember, like those two were like the publishers that were like, man, they what a fall from grace. They owned the early and late 2000s. Like they were, some of the best publishers making the most recognizable games, and they both just fell off. Look at how Capcom Capcom. Yeah, Konami is the one who doesn't make it stuff. Look at how Capcom has changed the narrative and just keeps putting out quality stuff, whether it be remasters of the games people want, done well, or new versions of those games. Like, man, they are just crushing it. Like, what a tale of two different companies.
Come a long way. Did you guys play Resident Evil 4 or no?
No, I've been waiting for this. Yeah, I've been waiting for the remaster.
So I'm actually planning on buying it on Steam.
No way, man! I gotta play this remaster.
It's gonna be different. It's gonna be different.
I know, but
it's. Get out of here, Rashawn Anderson in the chat.
Him?
Is he?
Oh my 100%.
God! Someone
I didn't.
Him. Who did it?
There's no
way.
Might
have been Tank. So with Resident Evil 4, it's funny because a lot of people, when they heard that this was rumored, were like, "That's not a game that needs remaking." No, that's absolutely a game that needs remaking. I'm not saying the original wasn't great. I can't vouch for it because I didn't play for it, but I didn't play it. But like, it's not the same. I think if John and I were to play that game for the first time now, like there are certain, like if I just played Batman Arkham Asylum, which I love dearly, for the first time today, I'd say it's a fine game. But I played that when it came out in 2008 or 2009 and loved it dearly. And so every time they remake it for a new system, I buy it. And part of it is nostalgia.
Right. And that game is 5 years newer than RE4. But,
exactly.
Yeah. That one already doesn't hold up. Like, again, not that it doesn't hold up. Of course, if Joe and I played RE4, we could appreciate it. Like I'm sure we'd enjoy it. But I think like it makes so much more sense to wait for the remaster.
Yes. Did anyone really message Rashawn? Or
Rashawn, how did you end up here?
No,
we need to know.
Rashawn, I was calling. This is insane. I was calling your name. I needed your assistance because neither of them have played. They've only played the Leon portion of Resident Evil 2, the remake,
it's the same
and never played Claire. It's not the same game.
I saw you played
Claire?
Oh, I played
through Claire.
Oh, I played Leon, so it's all good. It cancels out.
No,
we're like the same gamer, so we just did it together.
It's different.
It cancels out, dude. What are you talking about?
It's my other half of gaming. That's fine.
It doesn't. No, it is the same thing. I watched a video on the Claire stuff. I saw her little cutscenes. I saw her little story. It's the same.
Different from everything I've seen on it.
I can't believe Rashawn just tuned in. This is like blowing my mind.
That's insane. I don't know who. I literally don't know who.
I need to play NHL 23 because I missed out on NHL 22. Like, you got to play both. Like, come on.
Rashawn, he's a fan and was here. Oh, dude, that's awesome. That's just crazy. Like, what are the chances you happen to be here?
Thank you, Rashawn. I'm getting really.
I loved it. RE2 was great. Leon was fun. I watched that. Great. I watched a couple of YouTube videos on Claire. Good to go. All good.
Outstanding. John and I are going to chat and compare notes on our playthroughs.
Literally, the one day you guys were like, "Oh, the best part about Kingdom Hearts is it has no story." I literally texted Rashawn like, "Help. Give me the courage not to like just strangle them both through this text message."
You'll never win that conversation.
I'll just not open this can of worms, but
let's move on.
No, the story's garbage.
Battle for another day.
I'll say it. Kingdom Hearts 3 garbage.
Whoa!
I have fun with
Kingdom Hearts 3. I like Kingdom Hearts. I just don't understand it.
I like the gameplay. The story is garbage.
I love the music.
Oh god.
I love the music as well. All right. So we're going to get away from that controversy and go on to a new controversy here. Some stuff going on with Bayonetta 3 right now. And there's definitely some different takes going on, different sides, and we need to know more details. But from Kotaku, renowned voice actor Jennifer Hale, known for her role as Commander Shepard in the Mass Effect series, and the new voice of action character Bayonetta, released a statement in response to the discourse following Bayonetta's former voice actress claiming she wasn't offered a living wage by Platinum Games to reprise her role as the Umbrum Witch. Over the weekend, Helena Taylor, the original voice actor for Platinum Games' stylish hack-and-slash series Bayonetta, uploaded 4 videos to her official Twitter account claiming Platinum Games offered her an insulting flat rate of $4,000 to reprise her role as Bayonetta. It should be noted that Bayonetta 3 also features an entire cover of Bayonettas from alternate timelines. Interesting stuff here. Jennifer Hale releases, basically to button that up before we chat about it, a really nice tweet that I thought was neutral and it was good for everyone. So what Jennifer said was, with regards to Bayonetta 3, as a longtime member of the voice acting community, I support every actor's right to be paid well and have advocated consistently for this for years. Anyone who knows me or has followed my career will know that I have great respect for my peers and that I am an advocate for all members of the community. I am under an NDA and am not at liberty to speak regarding this situation. My reputation speaks for itself. I sincerely ask that everyone keep in mind that this game has been created by an entire team of hardworking, dedicated people, and I hope everyone will keep an open mind about what they've created.
There's some
interesting takes here.
So I'm going to add a little layer onto this because I read some stuff about it today. I don't know if anyone else saw any of this stuff, but another person had came out and said that he had some, 3 or 4 credible sources saying that what she's saying isn't 100% accurate, that they offered her about $4,000 to $5,000 per session, totaling about $15,000. That it was
I saw
not
the opposite.
quite accurate.
I saw the opposite, that it came out that 4,000 for her total sessions was not even their first offer. That was the final number that they landed on. So that they negotiated that the initial offer was the one that was incredibly insulting, not a livable wage, and the 4,000 was what they finally landed on before the negotiations broke away.
See here
and I saw that was $4,000 total, not per session.
So
yeah, I saw that part too.
Whether it's 4,000 or 15,000, that sounds very low for a prominent voice actress, obviously. And Bayonetta is not. It is a popular series. It's not
It makes millions of dollars. I mean, the Switch version of Bayonetta 3 alone sold over 1 million copies. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of copies.
It is a lot. So before we dive into this, I know we've got some thoughts on both sides here. To me, there's a lot of missing context and details that we may never know about. But if we take this at the surface and see what we've got out in the public, I'm never a fan of airing dirty laundry. However, I'm also a fan of sticking up and advocating for yourself. So in this case, for Helena, the original actress, I don't love the idea that she's saying boycott the video game and donate your money to charity instead. We can agree that donating money to charity is a good thing. However, what Jennifer Hale said in her tweet, I think just summed it up perfectly. There's a team of tons of people who worked on this for many years, who should not be tarnished as a result of that, right? This is one individual we're talking about. Although important, you should also think about the other people that worked on this game.
Yeah,
I agree with what I know John said earlier in one of our group texts where he said, hey, I'm a fan of paying your people, pay them what they're worth. And I agree with that. You got to pay for the talent. Don't skip out. Don't skimp on people. And that's not good if it's only 4,000 or 15,000. It doesn't sound like very much without knowing a lot about how much actors and actresses get paid for video games. But I think there's a ton of gray area and a lot of noise right now. And it's hard to take a stance without really knowing all the details. John, why don't I just pass it over to you?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I'm on the side that always pay your people what they're worth, and if you're going to offer somebody something that's not a livable wage, I think they have every right to take it public and to hit you where it hurts in the wallet. Yeah, I understand. Like, a lot of people worked hard on this game, and it would suck for this game to suffer because of something like this, but at the end of the day, they got their paycheck. They were paid to make this game. That money's in their bank account. It's cashed, right? So it would suck for this hard work to not be recognized the way it should. But if the publishers behind this game are really worried about that, don't offer people non-livable wages, and you wouldn't have to worry about the scenario happening in the first place, right? So just be on the up and up and take care of your people. You would never have to worry about your good people who are still with you being in this situation. Boycotting is always tough because of that. Yeah, there's so many people who go, there's so much work that goes into it. There's so many people that are not involved with the decision to make that offer that will, in some way or another, suffer for the situation. Again, no one's gonna. This statement, this call to boycott, it's not going to change the sales of Bayonetta in a major way. It's just a statement. It's just awareness. Maybe the fact that she was so adamant about boycotting is not the best call for her, but I think at the end of the day, it's totally fair. I think that she wasn't offered a livable wage, and this was a proportionate call to action.
I agree with Rashawn in that we definitely need more information. He says something is missing. Tim, I'm sorry. I know I cut you off there. What were you going to say?
I think it kind of reflects a bigger issue than just her. I think it's an issue with the industry of, voice actors in a whole. They're underpaid. I mean, that's the reality. Like, she's not the only or the first person to come forward.
No.
Whether it's from a voice acting standpoint, unless you're a high, well-known actor. I mean, you look at the comparison. You have like a Chris Pratt who goes on and voices Mario, making insane amount of money, and things like this where it's a smaller. The scale of what it is smaller, so I understand in relative to the whole game, like it's just a piece of everything. But like there are some times where they're a bigger component of it and they're just underpaid. And I think it's an issue with the industry as a whole, not just her specifically.
It's a huge thing with voice acting in general. I mean, there are countless stories. One that just came out about Rooster Teeth, actually, of people just being plugged in to do VO for a project and not getting paid for it and just doing it because they technically work for the company. It's like, oh, you're an engineer here and we need some VO lines done. Like, just pop in and do a couple of sessions. And just because they're an employee for the company, they don't get paid a VO rate. That seems to be a huge thing that's, a kind of a controversy at Rooster Teeth right now. They do a bunch of animated shows, and rather than paying voice actor talent at the rate they deserve it, they're just throwing in random employees to fill some stuff in. So, it's a huge problem. I think paying people what it's worth is a huge talking point in our society right now. And the unionizing of voice actors has been a thing that has been tossed around for a while as well too. Someone like Jason Schreier from Bloomberg has championed that, and I don't know if it'll ever happen. There's too much contract work, and these projects have such odd life cycles, and I think it's difficult to accomplish. But it's tricky. I understand perspectives.
What an interesting thing that you have Jennifer Hale take this role, though. Such a prominent voice actress. Like, I'd be so curious to know what she's being paid for this. We'll probably never know that. I'm sure stuff will leak out, or there will be kind of suspicions, if you will. But like, very, very prominent name in voice acting, and is getting that role. And Tim, you mentioned Chris Pratt, in him being in Mario. Whether you think he was in general the right guy for that role is a different story. But you put Chris Pratt's name to that.
Name carries weight. Holy
shit, right? So like, no disrespect at all to Helena, the original voice actress here. I would have never known. Right. I think who she was. And Jennifer Hale I have heard of. Again, that's not to say that Helena should not get paid. Like, she should get paid what she's worth. But like, I don't know. There's a lot of really, really interesting variables in this story that is developing as time goes on. I think Jennifer put it nicely in this tweet today, and she hopes kind of everyone gets their dues, I guess.
Yeah.
So interesting to hear it play out. Love to hear the community discussion on that. Get involved in the chat, whether it's twitch.tv/thegeekiverse or youtube.com/thegeekiverse. Would love to hear your opinion on that topic. John, going to kick it over to you. We got a price at a date for the newest iteration of the DualSense. And if you're interested in it, I hope you've saved your money.
DualSense Edge. So it's not a competitor, but a version of what we've seen Xbox do for a while with their Elite Series controller. They've done too, and I think PlayStation fans have been asking for years. Is like, I'm sick of relying on Scuff and these third parties for pro controllers with back pedals, and when's PlayStation going to finally do their own? Well, a couple months ago they announced it, the DualSense Edge, and now we have a price, and we have a pre-order date and a shipping date. So price $200, $199.99 USD. That's steep. It is up there. I think that the most expensive that the Elite controller ever was what, $179 or $189 when they came out with the Series 2.
What I think that's right. If you're talking expensive overall, whatever the Halo 2 or the Halo 1 was.
Yeah.
That would have been the priciest one.
Right. And I think that was $179 or something like that. And
you're in the ballpark for sure.
It's there. I think the original Series 1 Elite controller was $150. I bought that when it came out, had some fun with it, whatever. Then the 2 came out and it was a little bit more expensive, but it's always on sale for cheaper. I think that I kind of expected this. This is Sony being Sony. I think that they kind of gotten to the point where they're kind of like Apple, when they release an accessory. It's like they play the price game, and they're comparable when it comes to the big products. They can't overprice the PS5 because they have to stay competitive, but they can nickel and dime you and get you on that Sony tax when it comes to peripherals. The DualSense is expensive. I think it's $80 for just a DualSense if it's not on sale. everything like that. So $200 expensive. It's not for me. I'm a DualSense guy. I love it. I think it's already a premium enough controller. I have 3 of them. I have one now that's literally just dedicated to sitting on my wall here for PC gaming, and I've got 2 out there charging in the living room that are different colors for the PS5. I love the DualSense, but it's plenty premium for me. I will say that when I was using the Xbox Elite controller, it was a little too heavy for me. Like it's super quality and it's nice to have some of the options. I never use the back paddles. The way I grip a controller, the back paddles, like it would just take too much training for me to get used to them. So I never really used them. Tage Thompson scored a beauty. Go Sabres! Can't wait to look at that one. But yeah, $200 for me. It's not going to be it's not going to be something I jump on unless maybe I see it and it looks beautiful and I've got some FOMO going on. But dates, you can pre-order this thing on 10/25, so just a few days from now, and it's shipping next year, early next year, 1/26 of next year. So pre-order soon. A few months to wait on that, but I'm glad they finally did it. It's just not not something I'm super excited about myself.
I love the DualSense so much. I've got 4 going on 5 with that God of War pre-order that I inevitably am not going to cancel. So
you did pre-order it?
I might keep mine in the box. I don't know. We'll see. That's a dumb thing to do, but we'll see.
John and I are weak men when it comes to anything like that.
We were talking about it. I was like, oh, yeah, maybe.
I don't love that. I don't love the way the controller looks. However, I will say this. Every time I've seen a DualSense color, like online or on the phone, on the app, whatever that looks like when they go for pre-order, I'm like, it's okay. But when I get them in person, I'm like, wow,
so
those
vibrant.
Colors pop.
They're crushing the colors.
Funny thing, I showed Daisy this controller because we were playing Lego Star Wars. I was like, hey, what do you think of this controller? It's just like white and purple. I like that. I go, I might pre-order it. I might get it. I don't know. I'm like, we got to save our money. We'll see.
So she talked to you and did you?
So what happens is, Lauren walks in and Daisy goes, Mom, we're going to get that controller. She goes, what controller? I was like, shut up. Trying to save money here.
You got to learn here.
Yeah. Anyway, so also good news, John. Last news topic here. One of our favorites is finally making its way to PC.
Yes. Yeah. So Miles Morales is coming to Steam. We got that announcement that it was coming when we got the announcement that Spider-Man in general was coming. We just knew that it was coming at a later date. So we know Miles Morales coming to PC 11/18 pretty soon, less than a month. So that's going to be great. I hope I have Spider-Man wrapped up by then, and then we'll have to get that added to our Steam library share so we can all play that on Steam Deck. That'll be my third time playing through that game because they make you replay it for the platinum, which isn't too bad. It's like
still got to play Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
It was annoying, but then when I realized that this game's only like 4.5 hours if you skip every cutscene and just like literally blast through it.
Plus, it's so great. It's awesome. Just enjoy the ride. It is really, really good. I'm excited for that.
I'm of the mind that Miles Morales is a better game than the original Spider-Man. I just enjoy the vibe of Miles more. I like the story more. Obviously, there's less to it. It's a little bit less dense, but to me, that was kind of a selling factor. Not that I felt there was too much bloat in the original Spider-Man, but there's just something about a cool, breezy 12-hour story that's just really refreshing.
I love games like that. I love that Sony's done smaller, bite-sized, so to speak, AAA games, shorter versions of bigger games, right? So Miles Morales is that to Spider-Man. Then you got
Lost Legacy.
With Uncharted, and maybe give me something like that with Horizon at some point. All of it, I think, is just
for games games like Uncharted and Spider-Man specifically. I would sign up for that. Going forward in a heartbeat. I would take a smaller 10-hour experience every 2 years or every year and a half over another 30, 25-hour, 30-hour thing every 5 years. 100%. That is so much more up my alley.
We're kind of seeing this with Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed, right? They're going to continue making some of those bigger RPG games that just seem endless and a little bit dreadful to me. But, it's just not for me. But they're going to go back and make some of those more original style or legacy Assassin's Creed games and make them cheaper, like $50 instead of $70. And I love that. Make that smaller scale, more focused, give me more action. I care about the story as well. All of that sounds good. And we've seen a little bit of it with Sony. We're going to see a little bit with Assassin's Creed. Maybe that becomes a trend in the coming years.
Yep.
Only time will tell.
Tough.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at that point of the episode here at Busy Sticks, the Geekiverse's all gaming talk show. We're going to play our favorite new game. What is it called? It's called Guess the Game. I had a successful week last week. My second attempt, my first time getting it within the 15 questions. of course, was Uncharted 2, one of my favorites. So we're gonna have John play. I've got a game in mind, and have we decided? Is Tim gonna help us here or no?
John.
So it's my game. I'll defer to Tim for some deliberations. Tim, at the end of the day, I'm not going to use you for a solid answer.
I respect it.
But you're on my side here for some deliberations. It's proved a little bit difficult.
I say it's fair game, even if nothing else for the discussion.
For sure.
But obviously for the played back version, when you watch this back on YouTube, we'll put the answer on screen. We're not going to do that live because John is running the ship here. But John, are you ready to guess the game?
A little bit.
I feel like to make this fun, you should have like a guess without guessing. You should get one guess at the start without asking a single question.
Oh, a pie in the sky guess that doesn't count?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a fun...
Yeah.
That's fun.
Just like shoot it out there and then hope for the best.
No.
Oh.
No.
Joe's worried you might get it.
Dude, John, here's the problem. Yeah, I am worried because I said on our last show, just saying something.
Right.
Like right off the bat, taking a random guess. Obviously, it would have counted. But like John and I know each other very well. Yeah. And especially when it comes to games, like that could be dangerous. It's happened a few times with Star Wars characters. Like we've come out and gotten them very quickly.
Super quick.
So we'll see.
There's usually context there involved. Like we just watched that movie or something like that. But
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But, John, I'll give it over to you. You'd start guessing away.
All right, let's start. Is this game a console exclusive?
No.
Okay. Vapor scored again. That's good. Don't know. I think it was Hinestroza.
I'm delayed, man. Come on.
Sorry, spoilers. Okay.
It's Gears 3 all over.
It's Gears 3 all over again. Sorry, Tank. Actually, I'm not sorry. It was Paterka.
JJ?
It was JJ, baby.
All right.
Okay, so it's not exclusive to any platform. Is it part of a franchise?
No.
Not part of a franchise, not exclusive to anything. Okay. All right. So I'm at 2 questions here. Is this did this game originally launch on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 generation?
Yes.
Xbox One and PlayStation 4 generation. Okay. Did you know? I'm reading somebody. No, I did not know that. We didn't discuss anything about that, Josh. Okay.
Everything here.
Is this game also playable on the Nintendo Switch?
Yes.
Okay. So it's playable on Switch. It came out during PS4, Xbox One generation. Okay. Interesting. PS4, Xbox One. I'm starting to think publisher stuff now. Getting into publishers.
Oh my gosh, we're missing so much.
There's a lot going on. The best hit in a decade. I don't know about that. Sounds incredible. So far, it is not exclusive to any platform, to any console.
Correct.
It came out during the Xbox One PS4 generation.
Mm-hmm.
It is not part of a franchise.
Correct.
It is playable on the Nintendo Switch.
It is.
Is the game... Man, this won't help me narrow much. You get to the point where you have like something in mind and you want to ask questions that head towards that direction, but I don't know if this question helps me much in the grand scheme of things.
We both ran into that on our first tries where we thought we were
narrowing down. I'm not gonna ask a question.
Yeah, you can give me input. Tim doesn't count.
What about like asking a question reference to like the genre or style of game?
For sure. I was just about to go there with not genre or style, but I'm genre style. I'm publisher developer. That's in the mind as well. My wife just throwing out answers in chat full out. That would
She get it right. We've played this before. She got it with
that'd be a no because Fallout's part of a franchise because there's multiple franchises. Josiah, is this a single player only game?
Hang on, I gotta look this up.
That's okay. You're allowed to fact check.
Okay.
So that got rid of the fact you have to look it up. Got rid of one of my questions for sure.
Here's the thing. Without looking it up, I would have said yes, it's a single player game.
Okay. There may be a multiplayer component to it, but it's not.
There's a multiplayer mode, but in my opinion, this is a single player game.
Okay.
I don't want to throw you off the scent.
No, that's fine.
I don't want to talk too much with it.
No. The reason I asked that question was actually because I was thinking Fortnite. That's what I thought. I thought you may have gone Fortnite. I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask, is it free to play? But I'm like, that really only pertains to Fortnite. So if I ask if it's single player, that will tell me if it's multiplayer, which will help me with Fortnite.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. I'm sorry, I should clarify. Multiplayer, as in like online, or are you talking co-op?
I didn't ask that question yet. My question was, is it predominantly a single player game?
It is. It is a single player game.
Yeah. So that's what I needed. That's what I needed.
Okay. I don't want to screw you up.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Okay.
So single player game, not exclusive to much at all or anything. It's on the Xbox.
Came out during the Xbox One, PS4 generation. Nintendo
Also
Switch,
on
playable.
Switch. That's
single player.
That's where I'm trying to get with it. Like what was ported or came out on the Switch during that time. Genre is tough because there are so many genres. Like I just ask a genre and I'll burn 5 questions with the genre.
And they can bleed into each other as well.
Right.
In some cases,
there's yeah. Animal Crossing. Not an Xbox or PlayStation.
It was kind of multiplayer.
It was kind of multiplayer, but it was exclusive to the Switch.
Lauren booted that up the other day. It was great.
Right.
Hear that song again.
I listen to Animal Crossing music all the time. Like while I'm working out, just toss on like Animal Crossing lo-fi mixes or just the
it's
soundtrack.
My favorite thing to do while I'm working. If I have paperwork to do.
Oh yeah.
Lo-fi. Yeah.
Lo-fi video game music or just lo-fi in general. Yeah.
Yep. Lo-fi video game music is awesome.
All right, so I'm at 5 questions.
Yep.
How many get 10?
15. 'Cause 10 was really
15?
difficult.
But we realized it was ridiculous.
We both were nowhere near close with 10.
A lot of like outlets and different channels will do 20 questions, but we're going to stick to 15. We think that's reasonable for now.
I agree. And asking about time doesn't really matter because I got the generation down. I know it's a long generation. It's 13 to like, what was that generation?
20.
13 to 20.
20.
Yeah, 13 to 20. So 7 years is a good time to work in. Single player game that wasn't part of a franchise that's on the Switch and both HD twins. What? Nope. Nope. Man.
No, I have Animal Crossing stuck in my head.
Let's just go here. Would you consider this a AAA game?
Oh man, I would say no, but very high profile.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
It does it makes perfect sense. I think I know what wheelhouse you're in at that point. I think I know where you're at.
And I hate to say that, like that, and I asked that same question myself when I was playing.
Yeah,
but that almost be subjective,
right?
Like, to be like,
but I think we sort of align at what that means.
I think so too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this game in first person perspective?
No.
Okay. I got a scent again. Are there platforming elements to this game?
Yes.
Okay. Got a few. Indie being a maybe, being questionable gets me there. Oh, okay. I got like 4 right now. No, Tank, it's not Switch exclusive. It's not exclusive to anything. It came out during the PS4. I already asked that question, so you're good. No, yes. It came out during the PS4, Xbox One generation. It's not exclusive to any console, and it is also playable on the Switch.
Yep.
For the record, I just spilled my beer, but it's almost empty, so we're good.
That's good. That's good. I have 3, and I almost I can almost get to the point where I can start just getting
You're 8 in. I think you're doing really well.
Yeah,
from my perspective.
I'm just gonna guess one. I think I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go. I don't even think this is a pie in the sky. It's gonna help me narrow down at least where my brain's been at, and I still have a good amount of questions left. We're gonna do it. Is this game Cuphead?
Question 9.
Question 9. Is it Cuphead?
Yeah. I would love to say that it is. And it is!
I knew it, baby. Let's go.
Good job, John.
9 questions.
9 questions.
New record.
Not bad. Not bad. Cuphead, baby.
Like 12 questions?
I forget. You were, roughly 12. We were pretty close.
Well done. So obviously you can see where my hesitation came on the AAA.
Yeah. Well, because it was published by Microsoft, but it was developed by Studio MDHR, which is a very indie game, an indie developer. So yeah. I support the way you answered that question. Once you said that, what came to my head was Ori and the Blind Forest, Cuphead. Yeah. Like those were the ones where I was at, where I'm like, okay, the way you answered that got me there.
You were on the path, I think, around question 5. 5 to 6 was your turning point, and you started narrowing it down really quickly. And I was really confident when you were about to ask for 9 that it was going to be Cuphead. I would put money on it.
That was amazing.
Really, really nicely done, John. Good job.
Another one I had in my head was Celeste as well. Celeste, Ori, and Cuphead. Those were the 3. I'm like, okay, it's doesn't always have to be, but like it's early on. We're still just getting started. It's probably related to my tastes or his in some fashion or another.
For sure.
But even though like when you went Metal Gear, so I mean like that wasn't really either of our games. So
no, when you threw me Uncharted, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get on the path here. I know exactly where I'm going with this. So
yeah. But I gave
good stuff.
That one was a little different though, because I gave you a sequel, and like I tried to trip it up with that situation.
For sure.
Because the first one I gave you was Dishonored, and that's a game I barely even played.
And a game I liked, so like what the hell,
right?
Should have gotten it, but
man.
Yeah, fun
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Can't wait to see that in YouTube short version. That's going to be great entertainment there. It's going to be really quick, too, because you only took 9 questions. So Mr. Disruptoid killing it over there. Great job. Fun episode. Lots that we were able to cover today. Can't wait to see what Resident Evil as well as Silent Hill looks like later, I should say, this week. The Sabres are having a hell of a game. My phone is blowing up. We need to go watch some hockey, so we'll wrap this up. John, where can people find you on social media and anything in your mind to promote for the Geekiverse that you want people to know about?
Yeah, you can find me at Disruptoid. Busy Sticks is obviously like our weekly show. We're doing all sorts of stuff in between, though. We're currently chatting about Andor. We're just about halfway through the first season of Andor at this point. We're having fun with that. We always like talking Star Wars. We're going to be getting back into the MCU very soon, whether it be with films or with TV shows. We just love watching and ranking the MCU. So stick around for that. You'll see our newest episode of She-Hulk we just recorded. That's going to be going up probably tomorrow. But we're going to be getting back into the MCU stuff. So hang around for Star Wars, MCU, video games, all that stuff. It's what we do.
Geekiverse is definitely heating up here as we get into some of the more fun content season for the time of year that it is. Tim, you've been streaming a lot, and on the flip side, we've been streaming late at night these talk shows, but in the morning you've been playing some video games. What can people look forward to, and what have you been playing? Where can people check you out?
Yes, I've been playing on my own personal Twitch on I usually start around like 7 a.m. to like 9 before work. I'm thinking for when God of War comes out, I'll actually probably stream that on the Geekiverse page. So
Ragnarok.
Yep, just run through that. It's one game I said I didn't talk about. What's been on our system? What have been playing? I actually just finished God of War and I beat the Valkyrie finally. So, very happy about that. But yeah, I'll be playing that. So check me out on Twitter. I'm pretty active on there too. So, but yeah, I'll be streaming that. Hopefully, it'll be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. So.
Looking forward to playing that. Looking forward to watching you play that as well. Of course, awesome to play original God of War on Steam Deck. I did just finish my second run through on PS4. Nice. Going to go back and platinum that very soon, I think. we'll see how that plays out. But anyway, got Gotham Knights coming out shortly. Got Ragnarok. I'm a happy guy. You can find me on social media. I am Brosiah. That's at I am Brosiah. For all your Geekiverse content, whether that's Busy Six, Star Wars reviewed, or MCU reviewed, you can check it out live at twitch.tv/thegeekiverse, youtube.com/thegeekiverse, or listening on podcast services around the globe. We really love the chat tonight. Keep the engagement high. We appreciate that so much. It means a lot to us. We have a lot of fun with it. So thank you. If you wouldn't mind, do us a favor, tell a friend about what we do here at the Geekiverse, share the link with the Twitch. Subscribing goes a long way for us. And of course, we're always about having fun and having that conversation about gaming and the latest in the world of pop culture. So for Tim, for John, I'm Josiah. We're going to go catch some hockey. Go Sabres. Have a great night.